It's my pleasure to recite the brief biosketch of Dr. Indrajit Singhvi, sir. Dr. Singhvi is the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Sai Tirupati University, Udaipur, Rajasthan. He completed his UG from first batch of BN College of Pharmacy, Rajasthan, PG in Pharmaceutical Chemistry and PhD from Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya, Indore. Dr. Singhvi published more than 200 research and review articles in various journals of national and international repute. He is referee and member of editorial board of various national and international journals. Dr. Singhvi has also worked as research scientist at Ranbaxy Laboratories Limited before joining in teaching in the field. Dr. Singhvi has immensely contributed for transformation of university at sky heights. Now I request Professor Dr. Indrajit Singhvi sir for the opening remarks. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, dear. First of all, I would like to thank the Agrawal family, chairperson of Sunrise University, Alwar. I'm thankful to Dr. Jaya Balan sir, convener of APP 9th International Annual Convention. Dr. Yogen Singh, organizing secretary of the convention. Dr. Raghavendra Badoria, president of APP Rajasthan State Branch. And Dr. Dahiya, he is the founder president of APP. I'm thankful to the organizing committee for giving me this opportunity to have interaction with intellectuals who are joining this convention from different parts of the world, including USA, Australia, Malaysia, Switzerland, Japan, South America. The topic of convention that has been chosen, recent advances in pharmaceutical sciences, potential role of herbal and health challenges. If I divide this topic into two parts, recent advances in pharmaceutical sciences, and the second part as potential role of herbs and health challenges. As we all are aware, the most recent part, recent advancement that is going in pharmaceutical sciences in today's scenario is development of vaccine for COVID-19. All pharmacists worldwide are immensely contributing towards development of this vaccine. And we are very much optimistic that this vaccine is going to be a part of masses of India and the worldwide people in coming time. So the most recent advance is the development of vaccine, and we are glad that we are from a fraternity, that pharmacy fraternity, which is contributing a huge for the society for counteracting this infectious disease. The second part is role of herb and health challenges. Until the vaccine is available to the masses, herbs are playing an important role in developing the immunity of the peoples so as to counteract this infectious disease. If we simply go to the ancient Indian philosophy, we find that our Vedas, especially if I talk of Ayurveda, there are many of remedies that are available for treatment of various diseases and ailments. Even if the surgical process were not that much pronounced in that time, but still the Vedas of that time were capable of treating various diseases through herbs. The knowledge is available in our Vedas that needs to be explored by the young scientists, either in medical field or in pharmacy field. The most important hospital, I say my kitchen is a multi-specialty hospital that is available at each and everybody's home. And the grandparents of ours, I consider them as super specialty doctors who are super specialists in identifying and providing us drugs through these herbal and masalas and all those that is available in our kitchen. So they are super specialty doctor. Our grandparents are super specialty doctors. And our parents are broad specialty doctors, having somewhat lesser knowledge as compared to the super specialty doctors. And we are the learners. We are the learners in our kitchen. Even if I sneeze, even if I have a cough, my grandma will definitely come with me with a local remedy available in his kitchen with a piece of some masala. I have a toothache. If she will come with a piece of clove, just keep a clove in your mouth and you will be relieved by the toothache. If you are injured, they definitely in everybody's home. In everybody's home, we know that our parents will say that at night, whenever you are going to go for sleep, have a spoonful of turmeric being dissolved in milk, and take a glass of that milk. And definitely, it is experience of each and everybody of us. We know that it relieves inflammation and pain. So our kitchen is a multi-specialty hospital. Just the thing that is required from the young scientists whosoever are attending this convention, I request those young scientists to take this opportunity to develop a scientific background of these remedies that are available with our grandparents, just to go for knowing the mechanism of action of these type of activities that are being reflected. Although definitely the work already has been started several years back, but still lot much of the work has to be done. Whenever I have attended lot many of research research projects, interviews, and research thesis related to pharmacognosy, wherein they simply say that the extraction has been done and they have chosen a control group of rabbit or mice, and it has been shown that the drug is the core plant is showing anti-inflammatory activity, or it is devoid of any type of ulceration activity. But what about the mechanism of action? They don't predict. I don't find not more than 2% of the peoples are going that how these herbal remedies are affecting are helpful in treating of various type of ailments or the diseases. No background of that is being proposed. Even sometimes the controls they are choosing for comparison of their data, the most thing, I mean, almost around 50% of cases, I do try to object on the fact that the controls they have chosen are not properly selected. Then the drastic thing that has been observed while going through these type of research work, most of them says that my herb is having anti-inflammatory, analgesic, anti-malarial, antibacterial. So how can one drug can have 15 or 30 type of activities? Always I used to comment that if your drug is having 30 type of activities, let 30 allopathic drug being replaced in from the market, and your drug should be introduced that only one drug is curing 50 type of diseases. So lot much of research is required to be done on these herbal plants. Take advantage of the super specialist doctors, that is your grandparents who are available at your home, and they are prescribing the remedies. Simply, I've seen sometimes I've read somewhere that BD's packet paper is helpful in healing some type of diseases. So these things are to be explored. These things are to be explored. Cow dung is useful in several type of treatment of several type of diseases. So such things are to be explored, and the community shall be known that how these are acting, and that challenge has to be taken by the young scientists under the supervision of the experts. If I quote certain examples related to, since the topic is role of herbal and health challenges, so if I quote certain examples related to the herbal use of the drugs which are available, simply well known, at 10 examples if I take, then cinnamon is known to reduce the blood sugar level. It is very much well known that when you take a cinnamon bark powder, then it reduces the blood sugar level. Sage is known for improving the brain function and memory. Peppermint, as we all know, reduces nausea. Turmeric, very well-known Ayurvedic drug or a masala which is available in our kitchen, which is having an anti-inflammatory activity. Basil is known to improve the immunity, which is widely being used in these days. So that since everybody is aware, everybody wants the improvement in the immunity so as to counteract the infectious disease. Ginger, we know that it is used to treat nausea, and it is a very good anti-inflammatory agent. Rosemary, it prevents allergy and nasal congestion. Garlic is definitely, we say that if you simply take one or two pieces of garlic in the morning, it improves your heart health just by reducing the cholesterol level of your blood and the cholesterol that is deposited in your veins. Oregano oil, it is used as a powerful antibacterial. Tulsi, which is available in each and everybody's pot in a house, it is a very good antiviral agent. So likewise, there are many of herbal remedies that are available as masalas and in our home, in our pots of our home. So that can be used for the treatment of various type of diseases. Just the thing that is required is the recent advances in pharmaceutical sciences are to be applied for exploring the use of these type of herbal drugs, so that a scientific approach can be developed and can be documented. The most important thing is the scientific relevance shall be documented. In addition to that, simply a warm water, lemon juice, amla juice, kadi patta, cardamom, coriander, many of herbal remedies are available which can be explored. So I do think that in today's session, the international speakers and the national speakers whosoever are going to speak on recent advances in pharmaceutical sciences and potential role of herbals and health challenges, they are going to discuss the new avenues. They are going to provide a lead to our young scientists and the experienced peoples so that they can undertake research in various pharmacognostical approaches for development of new effects of the drugs that are available, maybe in the wild vicinity, maybe in the home to home vicinity, or maybe just nearby your street. Neem plant or many of plants which are even not identified. So such type of activities will be explored, and by the end of the day, the quorum will come to the conclusion that these are the aspects which can be taken up by the society or by the researchers for further studies in their field. And we definitely are looking to for India to lead the world in this herbal knowledge part. I do express my best of wishes to this convention, and definitely it is going to be a very good success. I had an opportunity working with Daya sir and Balan sir for organizing various type of conferences and seminars, and definitely they are expertised in this field, and definitely this international convention will come up with a summary part of 1 or 2 pages which can be beneficial for whole of the society. So I again congratulate the organizing committee, Balan sir, Yogen sir, Raghavan Paduria, Daya sir, for giving me this opportunity to interact with the legends of the field of pharmacy. And definitely I will try to attend several of these seminars. Yesterday I attended the presentation of the Vice Chancellor of DIPSAR. Definitely he is a very renowned, knowledgeable personality, and I'm proud to listen to him. I wish this convention a very good success, and whenever my services are required for EPP or for the betterment of profession, I do request most active personalities in the field of pharmacy, do inform me, because these days I am in administration. So, but definitely, whenever you will order me to be there for the betterment of profession, I definitely will be there. So nice of you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Singhvi. We can't order you, sir. We just want your blessings.
Thank you, sir.
And in continuation, just I will extend something. I'm here, the chair of the Herbal Medicine Research Committee in Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, nice.
And we have, I think 3 weeks back, we have invited Professor Goel, DIPSR, DPSRU Vice Chancellor, for the herbal talk. And I would extend the invitation to you also, sir. I have heard you on herbs. I think you have a sound knowledge on herbs, and generally we invite the herbal lectures on that. So by this forum, I will invite you in the upcoming months. And
we'll wait for that. Definitely, we'll wait for that, sir.
And again, I would also request that you host some conference in your university, and so that we can provide more professional platform.
Sure, sir.
So thank you. Over to Balan, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Actually, we didn't say much about Professor Indrajit Singhvi, sir, due to the time constraints, and he is the only man having more number of presentations in Rajasthan, as well as he has more citations in Rajasthan. He is the topper, we can say, and very much involved in research, analytical as well as chemical research. So we are very proud to have today started with the talk of Professor Indrajit Singhvi, sir. Thank you very much for your kindness, and in the early morning, so you came to us. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sir. Thank you.
And Prof, you have the we are inviting you for the valedictory function. Their awards are there, so if you can attend.
I definitely will try to join.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And now I welcome Professor Aleka Dash as a chair for this session from Creighton University, Omaha, USA. And I welcome Professor Balasubramaniam Narasimhan from Maharishi Dayananda University, Rohtak, Haryana. Professor Ajay Sharma, Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Research University, New Delhi. And Professor Randeep Singh Dhaya, Maharishi Markandeeswar, deemed to be University, Ambala, Haryana. So these four eminent personalities will chair the scientific sessions of today. And the today's session starts from Professor Susan Julia Chand, who is from the University of South Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, on the topic ethnomedicine and its medicinal significance in the Caribbean. So I request my organizing committee colleague to recite the profile of Professor Susan and ask her to talk on the topic. Over to you, Mujib. Your voice is not audible. You are unmute, but your voice is not there. Please remove the headset and talk directly.
Sir, I'm audible?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Good morning to all. I, Dr. Mujibur Rahman, Professor APC, member of APP Rajasthan branch. I welcome to all eminent speakers, delegates, and dear students on behalf of Alwar Pharmacy College and Sunrise University in occasion of 9th APP Annual Virtual International Conference. Now, I would like to recite the brief profile of Professor Susan Julia Chand. She is currently working as a professor of anthropology in the School of Social Sciences and Director for Research and Innovation at the University of Southern Caribbean, Tobago. Her area of interest, including the diasporic studies, kinship, ethnomedicines, health and nutrition, ethnographic migration, and gender empowerment studies. She has attended as a speaker in various national and international conferences and workshops in India, South and East Asia and Tobago. She has various reputed research articles. Now I welcome you, ma'am, to share your knowledge on ethnomedicine and its medicinal significance in the Caribbean. Now over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rahman, for your kind words of introduction. And all protocol observed, we thank Professor Singhvi, our honorable chief guest, for setting the tone for my presentation this morning, that is on ethnomedical practices, home remedies, and the views from the common people on their ethnomedical practices. I'd like to extend a very my gratitude to Dr. Rajiv Dahiya for making it possible for me to present at this convention, for his invitation to be a part of this association of very renowned, world-renowned professionals in pharmacists. And I also thank the convener of this convention, Professor Jay Balan, and all the other dignitaries who have been behind the scenes. So I don't attempt to mention everybody's name, but thank you. And so over to my presentation. Can I have the share screen option, please? Okay, thank you.
You are already provided.
Thank you. Yes, so I'll just go to the beginning. All right, so my focus, I'm being a medical anthropologist. I have been doing a number of ethnographic study with regards to people's beliefs, values, and practices in the use of herbal plants for, in their day-to-day ailments. And like Professor Sangvi had said, the kitchen is the multi-centered hospital, and our grandparents are super specialty. I do concur with that. So I want to also introduce my co-presenter. She's there in the audience watching, Whitney Arnold, who's a research graduate at the University of West Indies, where she is pursuing her master's degree in medical microbiology. So today we are going to just take you to a journey through the Caribbean. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any justice within the 25 minutes given to me. So we're going to take you to Trinidad and Tobago, Belize, Guyana, and Suriname. These are the countries in the Caribbean. So we will start with the concept of ethnomedicine, a little bit understanding about what ethnomedicine is all about. Yeah, Right, so I want to begin by saying that Caribbean is a home to copious medicinal plants, both indigenous and introduced from tropical zones of the Americas, Africa, and Asia. Even though it originated with Amerindians, it has been replaced by the sequential arrivals of European settlers, enslaved Africans, British colonies, Chinese and Asian Indian indentured laborers, and other ethnic groups who were brought to the Caribbean. So ethnomedical practices have contributed to the development of herbal pharmacopoeia in this region, and the present study examined the usage of medicinal plants in healing and healthcare among the East Indians in the Caribbean and indigenous people of Suriname, Guyana, Belize, and Trinidad and Tobago. So what is ethnomedicine? Very commonly known in this region is folk medicine, and it is defined as all those beliefs and practices relating to health and disease, which are products of indigenous cultural development and not necessarily derived from the conceptual framework of modern medicine. So it refers to promoting health and longevity through prevention of disease and illness through traditional systems of medicine, which includes magical religious beliefs and practices, like how we have Ojhas and Jhariman in Trinidad and Tobago, use of medicinal plants, knowledge of physiotherapy practices, and these are all rooted in the sociocultural context of a given society. So in the Caribbean, the folk medicine, or which is popularly known, is actually a marriage between the European folk medicine, Amerindian folk medicine, Chinese-based medicine, Indian-based medicine, African-based medicine, and of course, the scientific medicine. So we find here that it all includes home remedies, reproductive techniques, traditional healers, magical religious practices, medicinal properties of plants are extracted, folk etiologies of disease, preventative medicine, anatomical knowledge of human body, and physiotherapy. So like I mentioned before, the objective was to examine the ethnomedical practices by indigenous people and East Indians in the Caribbean. And my co-researcher, her attempt was to document medicinal plants used by indigenous people in Guyana and Suriname. So the method that we used was ethnography, and the communities that were visited in Trinidad, mostly northern range and central areas in Trinidad, where most of the East Indians are residing. In Belize, we visited the northern and southern districts in Belize and spent about a week there interacting with people. Guyana and Suriname was visited by my co-researcher, and these were the villages she visited. And the Amerindian populations were mostly Arawaks, Caribs, and Wararu. And Makusi, Wapishana, and Waiwai, these are Guyana. And in Suriname, she visited the Maroons, who are also known as Taramaka. So the people that were interviewed were community members, traditional healers, village elders. Okay? And we collected through semi-structured interviews. There were questionnaire form interviews in Guyana and Suriname. Particularly in these two places, language was a barrier because it wasn't English speaking as compared to Trinidad and Belize are English speaking countries. So villagers were not familiar with the names of the plants used to treat, so they couldn't give common names, so they only knew the local name. But nevertheless, they were able to tell what parts of the plants or mode of preparation were being used. So taking you to Trinidad and Tobago first, it's a twin islands located as a last isle in the Caribbean chain of islands, very close to Venezuela. And it has a largest population of people of East Indian descent, followed by Africans, mixed population, and the others, which are white, Chinese, and Syrian. In Trinidad and Tobago, East Indians have succeeded in keeping the folk medicine alive till today. And we find them as we visit their houses, and we see that there is a range of herbs that we find in their backyard. And most of them are like tulsi, neem, marigold, lemongrass, hibiscus, moringa, which is sage. These are some of the common plants and shrubs and herbs that we find in any East Indian house here in Trinidad and Tobago. So there are also specialists which we find in Ayurvedic practices, like Professor Singhvi mentioned. There are Vaidyas who are known for, who have the knowledge of the medicinal plants for treatment. The Ojhas, who are like mostly Jhare man, who will take a kokia broom, to, shake off the devil possessed people. So their job is to cast out the people with demon possessions. And then we have the masseur, who are mostly the bone setters. Right. So what we found here in Trinidad and Tobago, as we talk to people, their concepts about health and disease fall along promotive, preventive, and curative aspects. So they gave us a number of herbs and plants that are used to promote good health. And most of them are found in green leafy vegetables like spinach, which is called bhaji. They have pui bhaji, sejjan leaves, nunia bhaji, karmi bhaji. I'm sure you're all familiar with these bhajis that are also found in India. And then there are vegetables like pumpkin, bodhi, loki, jhingi. Now, these names that I'm calling out is the people here in East Indian communities, they use the very first name, which is mostly, they believe that these are Bhojpuri terms. So these are used for promoting good health, and they use a lot of teas, kareli bush, tulsi leaves, and then there's a green seasoning that they also use as a chutney, which is shadow beni, which is ban dhania. And then turmeric is used as spice in all the curries, and fresh coconut water. Right, so these are some of the This is a turmeric plant growing in our backyard, planted by my husband. And this is the haldi that he would have harvested. He's an agriculture man. He teaches agriculture science to teacher education here at the university. So again, some herbs and plants, a lot of them were used to prevent ill health. So Kareli bush, neem leaves, guma bhaji, wild senna bush for skin infections when people went to bathe in the river. So it was pounded and applied in the skin to prevent a skin infection. And turmeric paste is so common for skin and beauty treatment here. There were also a large range of plants and herbs used as curing different ailments, ranging from fever. So fever grass, which is a lemongrass used for fever, guava leaves and buds for diarrhea, dysentery, timari leaves for diabetes, saigon leaves for high blood pressure, neem leaves as antibacterial, kareli bush for diabetes again, tulsi leaves for cold and cough, shadow benny is hypertension. Now this shadow benny is very endemic to Trinidad and Tobago. And there was a research that was going on the analysis of phytochemicals to make a connection with the hypertension. So the person who was spearheading, unfortunately, she passed away. So in Trinidad, we want to engage in research that can analyze the phytochemical in this particular plant that is shadow benny, and it's used in hypertension because a lot of people in Trinidad and Tobago are hypertensive, and it's a number one, I think number one and number two for hypertension that is also related to heart diseases, diabetes, and number of other chronic ailments. Then there's fenugreek, this is methi, they use for diabetes, ginger, garlic, and basil tea for cold and cough. Coconut oil is the coolant, hibiscus flowers for gynecological problem, orange peels for gas and stomach problem, turmeric for cuts, burns, and internal bleedings. So this is an East Indian house, and the Hindu house is distinguished from the others. You see a set of group of jhandis or flags. So this is very distinguishing feature here in Trinidad. We don't find it anywhere else in the world. That jhandis that represents their gods or deities that they worship, they plant it in front of their house, and there's a small temple in front, and that distinguishes their cultural and religious features. And there's a roti shop, of course. Roti is a very famous street food here. People love it. Okay, so it's not just the East Indian practices, but they integrate some African-based medicinal plants in their practices. And some of them are, the common names are Christmas bush, jerry tooth for cold and cough. Then there's a carpenter bush, vervine, stinging nettles, seed under leaf. These are very endemic shrubs and bushes growing in these tropical countries. So there's a lot of research for somebody to just to identify this tropical flora that is part of this region, in this geographical region that they use. There's a boicano that they use for fever. Then there's mimosa and Christmas bush. And these are a number of herbs that are seen growing here. Now, most of these pictures I have taken is not from the internet. So these are my photographies. I usually take pictures and use it in my presentations. Now, very common practice here is taking of bush tea. And it is interesting to know that it is considered both as hot and cold. And in our way that we know the concepts of hot and cold. So it is considered both hot and cold. Cold for respiratory ailments and hot for treating pressure due to improper diet or eating of too much starchy food, stress or drinking, or even treating fever. So bush tea is generally prepared as infusions from fresh or dried leaves from the plants or herbs, which is growing in the backyard. So it may be a mint, basil, guava, soursop, and periwinkle, blue vervine, and all these range of herbs that are growing in the backyard. Okay, another plant that is very endemic to this region is the light blue snake weed, and it is used for coolant and tonic as blood cancer, even treating asthma and ulcerated stomach. So very large potential of research in this area. Then let me take you to Belize. I'm just rushing because my time is so short. Okay, Belize is an English-speaking country in Central America. And it has East Indian origin about 4%, and there's a lot of other indigenous groups like Garifuna, Creoles, Maya. Then we have Mennonites and also Lebanese there. Okay. So among the East Indians in Belize, only 2 herbal medicines were mentioned through personal interviews, and these were Sorosi or Seresi, which is Kareli in Trinidad, and Haldi, which is known as Haldi in Trinidad. They don't say Haldi, they call it Haldi or Haldi, which is turmeric. So the documented studies on bush medicine in Belize have listed a number of medicinal plants used by the Maya, but there's not much studies among the East Indians there. But whatever is being used by the indigenous group are also being used in East Indians in Trinidad and in India too. So this is just a chart to give you an idea. So we mentioned Shadow Benny before. There's a Kechki name, which is a Maya name. And the Indian name is Bandhania. It's improve blood count and lowers blood pressure. Then there's cactus, which is Harjor. It's very common in India too for joining bones. Bitter melon, which is Kareli, and it is used as cleanser, diabetes, worms, and hypertension. Then candle bush, which is senna, and used for treating ringworm, cleanser, laxative. Then there's Chinese fruit or Indian mulberry. This is noni, and it is used for menstrual cramps, diabetes, liver diseases, urinary tracts. So what I'm showing here is the common plants that are being used by the East Indians as well as the Maya Indians and also the Indians from India. Okay, this is the Shadow Benny growing in my backyard. Okay, this is the Harjor and the Kareli bush, again from my garden, and the noni plant. So a little bit about Belize. And East Indian food is very unique in Belize, and they are also what they call tarkari, which we call tarkari. So if they put yellow ginger, or this is yellow ginger is called the turmeric, is the yellow ginger that is commonly known there. And any vegetables that they cook with yellow ginger, they call it tarkari. And the Cahoon cabbage is the heart of the palm tree, which they cut it into small pieces and they make a dish out of that. So most commonly spice that is used in Belize is haldi among East Indians. And East Indians borrow haldi from the Maya neighbors because they are the ones who grow them. The Indians don't grow haldi, but the Maya Indians grow haldi and they borrow that from them and use it in their curry. Okay, so this is a Cahoon cabbage, a delicate dish. Okay, so there's a range of plants that are used in Belize for treating a number of ailments. We don't have time to go all of them, but some of them are very known to us in India. Okay. Right, so some of these we had mentioned, like the snake plant, then the pawpaw leaves for pain, for menstrual problem, for abortion, for contraception, very commonly used also in India. And then Queen Anne's lace, women of Rajasthan also chew these seeds as contraceptive. It's an age-old herbal medicine dating back to 4th and 5th century. Wonder of World is a Bifilium pinnatum, also grown in Trinidad and used to relieve ear aches. Then there are pepper leaves for boils and heat, tamarind leaves. Okay, so a number of plants again are being used for treating a number of things. Okay, so pomegranate for diarrhea, hurricane weed, which is for kidney stone. And yeah, even the Hindu physicians consider this plant as diuretic, astringent, and cooling. And the root with rice water is a remedy for different treatments and stuff like that. Okay, right. So this is a moringa tree. I took the picture, which is growing in Belize. There are a lot of beliefs among the Maya people about the moringa tree. And I found it very interesting because as Indians, we use moringa for food, in dal, in number of preparation. But the Indians have certain spiritual beliefs about this tree. Okay, quickly taking you to South America, Guyana. And the places where the study was conducted was in the coastal area, Sibai village, okay. And the common illnesses that was documented there was flu, cough and cold, diarrhea, fever, malaria, chicken pox, and diabetes. And the study documented 16 plant species in Sibai, which was used by indigenous people. Okay. Another village was Letam in southmost part of Guyana. And here again, there were different tribes that were residing, the Makushi, the Wapishana, and the Waiwai. And the diseases prevalent among them were hypertension, diabetes, and diseases under 5, children under 5 was cold and cough, pneumonia, and diarrheal diseases. Okay, and another village was the Makosi village, the Makosi tribe in another village. And they were using a number of stuffs for treating different ailments. We see the cashew bark and coconut water for diarrhea, the cow foot bush, and the leaf of life for cuts and wounds. Okay, and again, the Kareli is being used for malaria and lemongrass for fever. So there are a lot of common features as we travel from Trinidad to Belize to Guyana. Okay, so they make a kind of a syrup out of cassava that they use for seasoning, that they use for the soups and making cow heel soup and stuff like that. Okay, it's made out of cassava, which is tapioca. So these are the range of plants that are being used in Moko Moko village. And so it ranges from cashew nut, coconut, fever grass, and the ailments that are being used is diarrhea, fever, cuts and wounds, malaria, cough. And then here in the chart, you can see the different parts of the trees are used and how they are used for preparation. It is very interesting. If we had time, we could have dwelt more on that. But it is mostly the leaves. If you see here, they are mostly using the infusion or concoction of leaves, which I mentioned you earlier was the bush tea that they have been using. Okay. All right, and then the Suriname was the maroons there. Now in Suriname, because of the language barrier, a lot of names were not being gathered because they were saying some local names and we couldn't relate the scientific names. So this is another area of research that is to be done. Okay. Right, so again, we find Sarosi was very common. So coming to conclusion, so we see that the traditional medicine has played a very significant role in maintaining of health among the indigenous people and people of Indian descent. However, because of the pharmaceutical companies that have come into this region, a lot of people are becoming modern and they have given up using traditional medicine and they are not using the indigenous medicine anymore, the herbal medicine. And but very few percentage are using because of the side effects. And we found these were some of the common medicinal plants or the common plants that were used in all the 4 places that we went: turmeric, bitter melon, moringa, papaya leaves, lime, lemon, lemongrass, leaf of life, shadow benny, castor, and soursop. Now, I would like the research to bring us that what is now all these in 4 countries, this has been popular being used. So there must be some scientific background of the healing aspects of it, which is traditionally being used. So the phytochemicals that has been there and used by these people commonly across the region is something worth studying. So in the end, we like to see that there's need to identify phytochemicals in medicinal plants originating in ethnomedical practices to ensure scientific validation and treatment of specific condition in culturally acceptable dosages. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Susan. You have taken us a very interesting herbal tour in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you for this tour at the first session. And I request all the chairpersons to please note the comments and the attendees to please note the questions. We can have the session at the end, the question and answer session, and the note of the chairpersons. Now, without taking time, we move upon the